Good morning, my friends. This is Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works, and I am your Sunday blogger, Rosemary. Hugs! All right, it's early this morning and very, very breezy here. I hope that everyone that was in San Antonio, their homes are safe and you are safe. The weather is crazy nowadays, right? Everything is just crazy, but I'm here to answer this question, so I'm going to, I just wanted you to know that you're in my thoughts. Okay, question. How do you focus on the positive changes you are making, the progress of your journey, and the work you have ahead of successful, like with my weight loss surgery? What do you say? Please share your answer. Thanks. I think I'm missing some words here, but anyway, the point is how do I focus on the positive changes that I am making with my journey? You know, it's funny that this question would be asked today because last night I knew that I had gone to all 4 meet and greets, and I wanted to see the progress. I wanted to see the changes, if there was any. From 2010, I look like this. 2011, I look like this. 2012, I look like this. And 2013, I look like this. Now, what I want to say is that in 2011, there's changes between 2010 and 2013. Things happened in my life. 2010, I was just starting over and getting my life back in order, and it's very noticeable. I started exercising and eating very, very low carb and focusing more on the protein and the vegetables and adding a shake again in my life. I can see the changes. Then come 2011, there was more changes. 2012, yay! I think I looked hot. I think I looked good. Then between 2012 and 2013, I found out that menopause hit, and there was changes. What I want to focus on this question is that there is inner strength to keep going. How did I keep positive with the changes? I think that we all come to the conclusion that it is possible, right? It is possible because we see other people getting there and doing it. And sometimes we can get discouraged because we don't see ourselves moving along the path. We seem to get stuck. I want to talk about a little boy that I had in my classroom. His name was John. And John was the type of student that liked changes. He did not want to learn the same way. He got bored very quickly. And year after year, I would hear the teachers that had John would say, "Oh, he just doesn't want to learn. He just stopped learning. He just, he's bored. We try, or I try and give him other options, but he's just, stuck." And I think he's probably has some issues, learning disabilities. I heard this over and over again with different teachers. Like, then I got John. I was fortunate to get John. John's mother was a principal at a elementary school, and she talked to me just like she talked to all the teachers ahead of her. I'm getting to a point. I'm sorry I'm delaying this a little bit, but I want to focus on this. And she said, you know, John is this way and this way and this way and this way. And I sat there and I listened like I listened to a lot of you. And I listened and I listened and I listened. And they told me all about John. And they told me how John learns and why he's the way he is. And I listened. And I took it all in. And I experienced John for myself. And I wrote notes, just like a teacher does with all of her students, I would think. And I started taking notes about John and why John was so bored so quickly. John, to make a long story short, when I evaluated him, you know, every 3 months, I got to looking that John didn't like learning the same way. I had to spark his interest and get him to figure out another way of learning that same concept, but in a different way. And that would spark his interest, and that would get him motivated, and that would keep him going. And I also had to challenge him. He was a challenger. Some of us need to be challenged in different ways. Some of us love to continue the journey. You know, if it's not broken, then don't fix it, right? A lot of us are that way. And in my case, there has been bumps in the road. And I'm talking about my journey, not anybody else's, but because that's all I can go by is what I've done in my journey. And my inner strength comes from finding a different path sometimes. You know, what worked last year may not work this year because of the bumps in the road. You know, you get a little older, your hormones change. You know, you're told you can't run anymore, but you can walk. You know, certain foods just are not the same anymore. Gas happens, to make it very blunt. So what do? You challenge yourself, as I challenged that little boy in my classroom. And he became an A honor student. Because I took the time to find out that for some people, it's not just one way. It can be many, many different ways. I don't know if that makes any sense to a lot of you, but to me as a school teacher that I was, because I'm no longer a school teacher, I had to apply that to myself, because there was times I felt upset because the pattern was not the same. I had to cut a different pattern for myself. And now I see that, you know, I'm living life. I'm living it to the fullest. You know, my sister and I came from a very big, large body. I include my sister because she's been part of the mix in my life. She's motivated me. When she was not able to have surgery, she motivated me to keep going. Because at least one of us was going to find the inner strength to keep going, to have the body that we only wished for. And it wasn't about a skinny body, it was about a healthy body, a body that was no longer chained to medications and chained to her home, chained to not knowing what was out there, not knowing how to live the life of a normal body, in a normal body. So those were the challenges that I fought and still fight. You know, some people say, I don't believe it's a fight. I think that as an obese person, I will always have that struggle. I will always fight with the mind that says, well, you can have a little bit of that. It's all in moderation, and that is true. That is so very true. I can have anything. I can enjoy anything and have a bite of it, but for some of us, a bite is not enough. So I challenge myself. Do I need it? Do I want it? I think about it. But my inner strength comes from knowing that this is for the rest of my life. This was not temporary. And, you know, changes are going to happen. Changes are going to happen. Things are going to come, bumps are going to come in the road. And my challenge to you is, you know, do you jump over that challenge? Or do you stop midstream and say, oh well, this is my life for the rest of my life. I guess it just didn't work for me. No. You jump. And you continue your challenge. You continue knowing that it is possible. And just because there's a bump in the road doesn't mean that that's where it stops. No. No, my friend. You know? Do I enjoy getting up early in the morning to get it done? Most of the time, nope, I don't. But I do it because I know it's part of what I've become. It's part of me now. You know, for some people it is very enjoyable. Can't wait to get those tennies on and get out there and get it done. For me it takes a little bit longer, but once I got them tennies on and once I get out there and start that walking and do the elliptical in the morning and still in my gown, that's something that I see how far I've come. That, to me, tells a story in itself. Okay, I say that my inner strength comes from me challenging myself every day, year to year. And if there's a bump on the road, I jump over it and I continue. I pray that you find that inner strength that keeps you going, that tells you, I've got it in me. Yeah, maybe you can eat more after so many years. That doesn't mean that you have to do that. Continue your doctor's advice. Continue finding that inner peace, that inner strength that got you to where you're at. Many people say that I'm in maintenance. I guess I am. I still don't want to believe that. I know that I can always strive for more. I can always strive for more. And that's what I want. Maybe 3 pounds more, maybe 5 pounds more, or maybe one day 130, as I always dream. My dream is still possible. Is yours? Of course it is. I love you guys, and I'll be back. Bye for now.